Welcome to the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie and the DentonRadio.com station here. Today we have Gabriel Duran, and he is going to tell us all about the fun activities that are going to be happening with the Festival de Cine Latino Americano that is going to be happening here in Denton.
Yes.
And it's going to start this weekend.
Actually, it's next weekend.
Next weekend.
Yes.
We have so much going on. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You were scaring me there for a second. I
No.
was like, what?
You're like, not yet. So we're going to be talking about the amazing works that are going to be put into the Festival Latino. And I mean, I've got a list here. If you guys haven't heard about this, I strongly advise you to check it out. Go to their website, go to their Facebook page.
Yes.
Definitely look at all of the talent that's going to be displayed and showcased in the Latino or Cine Latino Americano. Tell us how this all started. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how this started, because this is amazing.
Okay.
I'm excited for this.
Well, as of right now, I'm a lecturer at UNT. I teach film. And the film festival started about 2 years ago, actually. Before I got into film festivals, I've been a filmmaker for a very long time, and being in the festival circuit, I've been on the filmmaker side of things, and my films have played all over the United States and the world, and so I've had the experience of being at a film festival and being asked questions, and just being in that whole facility of filmmaking, and going to a lot of film festivals and seeing my film up against other films. There was a lot of times that I felt like my film wasn't taken the right way because it didn't hit a certain criteria of people. My stories kind of fit something that kind of fits Latinos. And a lot of times I got a lot of questions after the film festivals. You know what? I love your film, but I quite don't understand if that really happens. And a lot of times it's like, well, I mean, it does happen. And there's been a few times where, as a filmmaker, you get the sense of, this is why I'm making films, because I'll get a few people come speak to me after the film festival and say, you know what, that touched me because I understand how that character felt, because it hit directly with Latinos. So being that instance over time, I always say to myself, why is there not a film festival here? Well, in Dallas, there used to be one called Los Vistas, and that was maybe about 12 years ago. But it kind of went by the wayside. So there was a period in time where there was no Latino representation here in Dallas. They might have a Latino day in a film festival. It would be like 1 or 2 films. But other than that, that's probably the representation that we had of ourselves. So I decided, you know what, let's do a film festival. The idea was to have it in a hotel with maybe a projector and maybe 10 seats. And I was like, yeah, that's going to be cool. That'll be great. But it turned into something where we had a committee panel of like 8. We actually had it at the Grand Plaza. We decided to have it in the month of September, which is the biggest month for Latino culture. And so we had it there, and then we had it for 4 days in 4 different screens, playing at the same time, flying in people from all over the world. So it turned into something small and turned into something really, really big really quickly.
That's really exciting.
Yes.
That's amazing, because I know that, Denton, being as artistically creative as we are, and we obviously have the Thin Line Film Festival coming up as well, and we just had the Denton Black Film Festival. So this is a wonderful addition into that whole arena of stuff, and I'm really happy that you're here to tell us more about this. And again, I was really impressed by the showcases that you guys have. I didn't imagine it was going to be as long a list as this is. But, just the representation. I know we were talking about you're going to be collaborating with Mercado, that is relatively new out in Jefferson, over there in the Oak Cliff area in Dallas. So that's a big Latino center, a collaborative center for arts and just any kind of art in general.
Yes, definitely. And they're a huge sponsor for this festival, because the owner, Jorge, he's actually a advocate of art. And if you've ever been to the Mercado 369, I suggest you go check it out. It's beautiful. You can be in there for a good hour just looking at all the artwork and being impressed of what's being displayed there.
Yes.
So presenting this to him, he's like, of course, we're supporting Latino arts, and it's good to have this type of environment where we're celebrating the culture and getting awareness out there about us Latinos as a people. So it was it was just good to have him on board.
Yeah.
Another person we have is Domingo Garcia, who's a huge advocate when it
is.
comes to the arts, Latino arts, and Latinos in general. So having him on board with us and having his guidance, because actually the festival that was a long time ago, Los Vistas, he kind of ran for about 2 or 3 years. So he has that festival experience.
He's very active in
very
very
active. So
in the community.
He's definitely a good person that we go to for advice, and having him with us is definitely a huge plus for us.
Well, one of the things that excites me is the fact that we have these major hitters or new hitters like Mercado coming over into Denton, because it lends itself that, hey, you know, we're neighbor cities, obviously, but we have a lot to offer. Denton has so much to offer, and it is growing in the sense of this type of art and community that it makes me excited to know that they're coming over here to our house, and we're going to be playing host to such a wonderful event. So, I mean, I'm really excited. I know you guys have that red carpet and reception and everything, so you guys are going to have it
it's all gonna be there. It's actually Friday the 23rd.
Yes.
And it's gonna be red carpet, and we're gonna have a chef who has, I think, a show on Azteca TV, who's gonna come and serve some of his delicious stuff for us.
Very cool.
And a lot of the the actors that we're inviting and the guests that we're inviting are gonna be here Friday night. So you'll be able to mingle with them and talk to them about their projects and what they got going on and what they did in the past. And it's gonna be a nice thing. I mean, we have different news channels showing up to represent and to showcase basically what we're doing. So it's an exciting day because a lot of people don't experience that. A lot of film festivals, they'll just have a film festival and you basically show up and watch the films. But when there's a red carpet there and there's media and there's press, it makes it more real. And then you can see stars that you see on television, on Netflix, and they're there right next to you, and you're able to mingle with them and talk with them. So it's a different experience, and that's what we want to do. We want to celebrate the culture. We want to celebrate the arts as far as the Latino image and where it's going now. You know?
So one of the things that I want to talk about are the entries. There's so many, and I won't go through them by name because there's just so many on here. But your showcases are going to be short film. You have different categories, and so each day will allow for a different showcase. I believe you have the Hano features, you have narratives, and I'm sure you have like 4 other categories if I remember correctly.
There's actually 5 categories. Okay. There's a Latino short, a Latino feature, Tejas short, Tejas feature, and I think there's a young cineastas, which is the young filmmakers. So those are the 5 categories, and in them 5 categories we have documentaries and narratives. So it's a mixture of everything.
Oh, okay.
So when you see that, you're thinking, oh, there's no documentaries. No, there's a lot of documentaries actually in our lineup. Some amazing work that's being produced, some amazing work that's never played here in the States, and this is the only time you're ever going to see this stuff. So come check it out, definitely.
Amazing. Okay, so how many of your entries are from the States versus out of state?
We get about half and half.
Really?
I think this year it was about half from definitely out of the country completely, and about half of them here in the United States. The reason why we're starting to become more popular is because a lot of these times these films that come from outside of the United States don't have a springboard or don't have that representation here, and they love the fact that we're just celebrating Latinos culture and it's only Latino films and it's Latino based everything. So they're able to say, you know what, we can send a film and people understand where we come from, and the accessibility for them is a lot better. So we're that springboard for those filmmakers, and it's amazing because I think the first time we had this, we had filmmakers come over to the United States the first time ever. They've never set foot in the United States, and they came here because their film's been screening here in the United States, and because of us, they were here and they were able to see their film and experience America, and it was a great experience for us to be that platform for them.
That's amazing. I think that this is like you said, springboard. This is a wonderful springboard because I know that recently at the award ceremony, they made it very clear, and you know, they want women directors, you know?
Yes.
So I think that's very positive to encourage that type of, you know, you want your niche. You do want your niche because you want to be able to show and shine your work according to, you know, the market that you're trying to get at. And I think that's a great encouragement for those type of nurturing environments for those, you know, for those situations. So, just off the top of your head, let's talk about some of the people that stick out in your head on in the lineup. It doesn't have to be your favorite, but hey, watch out for these people. They're coming out, and
there's a a documentary by a filmmaker by the name of Israel Marquez, and the filmmaker is called Amor, Paz y Música, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
the
and that's
documentary on the musician
with Alex Ruiz, and who is the lead singer for a band called Del Castillo, if you know,
which is local.
Del Castillo is actually from Austin, but they are huge.
Yes, they're local
he's
Texas.
He's also the lead singer for a band called Chingon, which is Robert Rodriguez's band.
Yes.
So he's an amazing artist, and he will be here to represent his film, his documentary. I'm sure a lot of Texas people know him because of the music.
Yes, a lot of people follow Del Castillo.
Yes.
And they're going to be Saturday at 12.
Saturday, but Alex will be here Friday.
Oh, okay.
He will be here Friday to walk the red carpet, definitely.
Nice.
And then opening night, we have a film called La Habitación, which is also called the Tales of Mexico. And basically, the feature film is about one room and the span throughout Mexican history and the different families that lived in that one location. And it's done by 8 directors, and it's beautiful. Its cinematography is amazing, and it has some named actors in it. And we have 2 actors actually coming from Mexico from that, Noel Hernandez and Christian Ferrer. And Christian Ferrer has been in a ton of stuff. If you've seen Sin Nombre, man, he's been in so many different movies. And Noel also, he's been in so many different stuff.
Yeah.
If you look on Netflix, you'll find them everywhere.
And believe it or not, Netflix has tons of foreign films.
Yes.
I watch a lot of my foreign films on Netflix. I do a lot of Asian dramas on Netflix, Korean, Japanese and stuff like that, French. They're on there, and they don't showcase them on the main screen.
Yes,
but
you have to look for them, but
just
they're there.
pick one, and then all these other ones
Yes.
come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty amazing, and I think that's going to be an exciting night. You guys, there's going to be a red carpet here in Denton, so get dressed up for that. It would make a great date night, or just come hang out with them. So I know you guys also have an award ceremony that's going to be happening.
We do. We actually have. We're really proud about one of the awards that we have called Corazón de Latino. And basically what it is we have a glassmaker by the name of Jaime Guerrero, and he's out of California. And he's world-renowned, and he does a lot of political glass artwork. And the thing about Jaime Guerrero is that they just recently did a PBS documentary on him, so I think it played not too long ago. But he hand makes this glass heart, and it's an actual heart made out of glass, and it takes a lot of time to make it. And we actually gave that first honor to Nancy de los Santos, who was a producer for Roger and Ebert, who was a producer for Selena, producer for Mi Familia. She's a writer for Hulu. She is a huge positive Latina image, and we honored her last year with this first award. And then this year we're honoring Jesse Borrego, who is an actor out of San Antonio. He was in Fame. He was in Blood In, Blood Out. Of course, in Blood In, Blood Out,
that's probably his
his
role,
his iconic role. And he's been doing a lot of positive work. And he actually produced one of the main documentaries that's playing at our festival. It's a documentary about 3 mariachi singers, I think, out of San Antonio, and he's a producer of that film. So not only are we honoring him, he actually produced one of the films that was selected.
Oh, that's pretty
cool.
So
he will be here to be honored and to talk about the film that he produced.
Oh, that should be really fun for him too, because he's getting the best of both worlds.
Yes,
and stuff. So let's talk about the young Latino filmmakers.
Young Latino filmmakers.
Because this really does interest me. I know you said you're a lecturer here in UNT.
Yes.
So we do have a young crop coming out of UNT at all times. It's churning
all the time.
But one of the things that amazes me is that, and I have one of the UNT students or previous UNT students that is going to come out on the show and do her showcase for filmmaking.
Okay.
And when I first saw her work, I was in awe because it was such cinematic quality.
Yes.
I did not expect that, just because I'm not exposed to a lot of the films from UNT because I haven't sat down to watch them and stuff. But when I saw hers, her name is Nicole, her quality was amazing. I was like, this is cinematic Hollywood quality movies. So I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff the young filmmakers are pumping out.
Definitely.
I mean, their creativity is right up there. And then with the influences of modern day technology, cinematography, and social media, and the competition, there's just so much excitement as far as, you know, what they're going to be generating, what they're going to be pumping out. So,
and it's different experience because they're not only seeing films produced here in the States, they're actually competing with people from all over the world, which is a good thing because you actually get to see how filmmakers make films in Brazil. We have actually, it's a weird thing, we have a lot of films come from Switzerland, which is weird, but they're Latino based.
Yeah, I saw one of them was, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. They had a Spanish Switzerland
There's
name.
a connection there. I don't know how it is, but there's a lot of films from Switzerland that are Latino related. But it's good to see filmmakers of their own age making films and how, you know, they're making it here in Texas, but yet over there in Brazil they're making, you know, films, and it's like, wow, let's see how they're doing this versus what we're doing. And it's good to see it, to open your mind and expand and see, you know what, you can actually sit down on a film and say, look, I can learn from that film, you know. And that's the main thing, is that filmmakers are here to collaborate. They talk. It's a smaller community than you think, and to be able to see films that are done in different ways in different parts of the world, it makes it a better experience for a filmmaker and an audience member as well.
Well, it's also inspiring. You know, obviously you have the films are. A lot of them are going to be experience-based films, or they have a story to tell about the culture.
Yes.
And like you said, nobody understands until they can sit down and relate to somebody, a character or whatnot. So I'm a firm believer that through writing and through art, we bridge gaps.
Definitely.
And so it is a little bit more eye-opening for your soul to connect with another person who's not like you.
Yes.
And so I really encourage people to come out and see these films. A lot of people are like, well, some of them may be in Spanish.
Well, they're actually all in Spanish or Portuguese, but all of them are subtitled.
Exactly.
They're all subtitled. So there's no reason why you wouldn't understand a film, because they're all. That's one thing that we have, is that we want everybody to relate to the films. We want people to experience that experience. So one of our things is that we have to have subtitles in your films. That's just part of it.
Yeah, you want everybody to be able to experience that. And besides, when the movie's great, you forget you're reading.
Yes.
That's the honest truth. We all know that.
True.
We forget we're reading. So that's really a plus to put out there, because a lot of people may think that, oh, I don't understand.
No,
well, there's going to be subtitles.
Definitely.
And then you guys, okay, so what we were talking about the youth. What would you tell the youth as far as the filmmaking experience and their journey as filmmakers? Because I want to put out there, you know, break down your own barriers.
Yes.
You know, expand on your art, step out of that box and just do it. I want people to challenge themselves and just get out there.
I think as artists, we learn from something, and we learn from someone, and we take a little bit of experience from that person and that person and that person, and we influence our own kind of work. And a lot of times we're still trying to mold our craft and understand who we are as a person and who we are as artists. And unless you're submerged in that world with other artists, then you start to fine tune that craft. And I feel like if you just dealing with people here locally, you're still stuck in that bubble, and you have to expand. And in this industry, in any kind of industry, actually, in art, it's about the networking. It's about who you know, and that person can actually open bigger doors for you. So networking is a huge thing. So as a filmmaker, you definitely need to go out, experience other filmmakers, and be open-minded to what's out there. A lot of times we may think that we're closed-minded and this art works the way it is, and nobody can tell me what to do. But talk to other filmmakers and be open, especially somebody who's coming from Mexico or from Spain, or, you know, that experience, because they're experiencing stuff that you're not going to ever experience, and vice versa. So take a little bit of that, you learn. It's basically part of learning.
It is. Artists pull from all kinds of experiences and people and learning. There's always going to be a mentor, even a person that doesn't speak to you, but you admire their work. They could be a silent mentor in their style and their techniques and whatnot. So I do highly encourage our young filmmakers to even attend this event. You know, don't think of it as all adults and older people. No, this is definitely going to be for all ages.
It's exactly why I had it at UNT.
Yeah.
You know, I had the option to we actually did it in 2016. We learned a lot, because it went from an idea to something really huge really quickly.
Yes.
And we learned a lot, and we took a small break because we wanted to actually become a nonprofit. So we went through that steps, became a nonprofit, and now it's like, you know what, I want to really have these films in an academic setting where we can talk about films and talk about the experience of the Latino image from where it's at and where it is now, and to sit there in an academic setting where students can actually see what we're talking about, why the stereotype is still the same from where it started and where it is now, and how series like Narcos and Queen of the South, how they're very, very popular at this moment, but once again, it's still the same stereotype image. You know, we're in the limelight once again, but it's for the wrong image once again. So it's about these issues that we need to talk about as a community and as young filmmakers growing up. Exactly what image are you portraying for your characters that you're making films for?
So that being said, I know that you know, a lot of the modern day issues and topics are always about, you know, trying to get out of that mind frame. And so I think, you know, this being the perfect setting to kind of be in a healthy environment and connect again, like I said, making those connections, bridging those gaps and stuff. So filmmaking being, you know, the other form of media that is, you know, gets to your soul, just like music does. It talks to you. So I think it's such a perfect environment to.
It definitely is, you know. And I tell my students, like, music is a beautiful platform because it takes you on this. If you feel angry, you put on something like Metallica. If you feel like you've been heartbroken, you put on a song that fits that. But with film and movies, you take the human and experience that goes from sad to angry to happy all in one sitting. And there's no medium in the world that can do that. So it's a very powerful tool. So I encourage a lot of my students to be, you know, to make sure that the message that they're sending out is clear and that they understand exactly how powerful this tool is.
How many of your students actually enter this?
From UNT? I don't really know, actually. Like I said, because
you're high level. Yeah.
I'm not exactly high level, but there's a process, because when you get over so many submissions, you have over 100 submissions, and then you have our festival programmer who deals with films, and that's what he used, and he loves dealing with that stuff. You're getting films submitted from all over the world, and you have to sit there and kind of like go through these films.
So there is a selection pretty much.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, when you have over 100 films and you thinking maybe half of them are features, you know, you got to watch most of these to say, you know, this is good enough to get in, this is not good enough to get in. You have to set a bar, because you want the experience to be a positive thing for viewers. If they're coming to our festival, I want them to say, you know what, that was a good film. I don't want them to think, you know what, that film wasn't shot right, or the acting was horrible. That's one thing we don't want. We want people to come to our film festival and be like, you know what, I was entertained and I got a message from it. So there's definitely some criteria that we have to get these films in. And when you have so many, it's like, what do you do? I mean, I can't watch all of them for sure. We have judges that watch films. They watch about 30 films, and they're having to really cram this stuff in. So
yeah, I can imagine.
As far as what films at the beginning, I don't know. I mean, we have some. I think I have one or two from UNT, but most of them are from outside of the city.
Okay. So I know you guys are doing the whole 9 yard with this festival. Like I said, you were doing the red carpet and the reception, and you have your directors and your actors, the cast or crew that are coming out. But you guys are also having some really neat performances that are going to be happening as well. I know I saw this, and like I said, the list is long here, so I'm like leafing through all the pages. But I know you guys have some dancers coming out as well, and you're which one was it? I'm sorry, I just lost it. The folklorico, and that is an amazing thing to witness. If you guys have never seen a folklorico performance, I would highly encourage you to go and do that. It's a very beautiful, beautiful traditional dance, and I'm excited about those kinds of things.
And what it is we have the writer Edui Tejerina, who's a writer for the movie Cantinflas. And Cantinflas, if you don't know who Cantinflas is, he's kind of like the Charlie Chaplin of Latin America. Yes,
very iconic.
Very, very, very iconic. And the movie came out, I think, in 2014 or 2015, I'm not sure. But we're actually screening it at our festival, so those who haven't seen it. And it's funny because when I'm teaching class, I said, how many of y'all know Cantinflas? And I had a few raise their hands, and they kind of know a little bit about Cantinflas. But so we're celebrating his iconic image, and he's going to be here. And we actually have a guy named Moreno. I forgot his name. Something Moreno. I forgot his name. Sorry.
There's a lot of names on here. I don't blame you.
He's coming in from California. He's an impersonator for Cantinflas.
okay.
And he's been on Telemundo. He's been on all kinds of TV shows, and he's gonna be on closing night. We're honoring Cantinflas, so he's doing a little performance of Cantinflas, and we're honoring him. And now we're also honoring Pedro Infante, who's a huge, also iconic Mexican actor during the golden age of Mexican cinema.
Yes, and the golden age of Mexican cinema is, I mean, a lot of people have no idea that these movies, and these are just as big as John Wayne here, and, you know, Clark Gable, and, you know, it is just as big. And you look at the, you know, the actors and actresses, and they're just as gorgeous, and it's just a beautiful era. The golden era is a beautiful era in cinematography, in you know, Mexican cinema, and one of my all-time favorites. Oh my gosh, I just went blank right now. One of my all-time favorites. But the women actresses, they look so gorgeous. Hollywood glam, you know, typical, you know, starlet images, and it's just neat. And to be able to experience those films, and especially a foreign film, you almost feel like you're finding a new treasure box full of stuff. If you're into cinema and then you happen to see one, and you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, then there's so much more to be found. You know, I encourage so many people to just get out there and
watch.
Yeah,
because we're going to have a mariachi for Pedro Infante tribute. And we have a guy named Miguel. He's going to come out and sing for us some Pedro Infante songs while we have images playing of him. So it's a tribute to Pedro Infante. And we also have Peruvian dancers.
Yes.
We have the Dallas Romanticos, something. I forgot the name of them. But they're actually opening up for us. They're amazing. They're like a 6-piece or 7-piece group that actually plays all acoustic instruments. They're playing a medley of Argentinian music, Cuban, Puerto Rican music to give the whole cultural experience. So.
Yeah, you guys have so much going into this. So how do you, I mean, I know we haven't even done this one yet, but what is the anticipation for the future for the festival?
Actually, we've been from the get-go. For me, it's about first and foremost films, and it's always going to be that. First and foremost is about the films and the quality of films that are coming out of Latin America. But eventually, we wanted to expand and give it a whole cultural experience with food and dance, and also food, dance, and music, and we want to experience that. And actually, the Consulado of Mexico, they're a huge part of this.
Nice.
We talk to them back and forth all the time. We have meetings all the time, and they were saying that Dallas is like the 3rd largest in the whole nation, and they get phone calls and say, hey, how do you deal with y'all's festival? And he's like, we don't have anything like that here. So they're really pushing us to actually make that full experience for this DFW area. And our plan is to grow, is to have films, and once again, like kind of like South by Southwest, but of Latino culture, and have a weekend of food, fun, and films. You know,
that's a big deal because I mean, you're in Denton. This is in Denton, and it's a great place to be born. Pretty much, you know, I know that it's just a wonderful outlet to display and showcase some of this talent and just be able to grow from here. And as much as we would like everyone to stay in Denton, you know, we know there's growth that happens, and so growth is inevitable. And like you said, this has caught on so quickly. If you've only done this 2 years and you've got these types of people backing you and you've got these types of talents to showcase, it's an amazing experience. So I'm just, you know, how would people contact you to enter? I know this one is too late, but there's next year, and I'm sure people are going to be inspired by all of this.
There's most filmmakers really know that there's a couple of platforms that you can submit films to. There's Film Freeway, and there's also Without a Box. And I think this year we were only with Film Freeway, but we were really easy to find. It's just type in Latino Film Festival, and there's only a few in the whole country. So we'll easy to find. Just Film Freeway. You submit through there.
Film Freeway.
Film Freeway. Yes.
Okay. Oh, Film Freeway.
Filmfreeway.com, and it's a real simple process. Okay. They upload their films and they send it to us, and then it goes through the whole judging process. So.
Okay, so Film Freeway is a different company, right?
It is. It's a third-party company that most film festivals use because it's so easy for us,
the user,
us as a film festival to log in to our account through Film Freeway, and see all the submissions.
Oh, okay.
And we can just pull it up on one website.
Okay.
Versus back in the old days where you'd have to sift through VHS cassettes or CDs and they have to be mailed to you.
Yeah.
It's a pain.
So now it's just all in one.
All online.
That's
and it's
pretty
all
easy.
virtual. It's just like click on, watch the film, yes or no, next film.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is a little process. So if you're interested in submitting for next year and you're currently working on films and you want to submit something into the film festival, definitely look into that. And are you guys on Instagram or on Facebook?
We are on Facebook. It is FDCLA 2018 or here's the long version. Festival de Cine Latinoamericano.
Okay.
Okay. It's if you just type in Festival de Cine, it should just pop up on Facebook. But Media Arts actually has tags, links for us to click on. So if you're interested, go to UNT Media Arts. You can click on there. It'll send us to us. So there's a lot of different ways to find us. But we're the only one in DFW, so we're not that hard to find.
Okay. So I did hear you say something about you. Do you have a piece in the festival?
Do I have a piece? No,
not this year. But
No,
you have made films before.
Yes, I do make films. I am a filmmaker, and no, it's not good to have your own films in your, especially when they're judged.
Yes.
So no, I don't showcase my films during my film festival.
Okay,
No,
so
don't
where
do that.
where would you find your films?
My films?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. My films, you can actually look me up. Just Google me, Gabriel Duran, filmmaker, and it'll just pop up. There's different things you can find because there's not one location I have all my films posted. You can just Google my name, and there should find a lot of stuff.
Okay,
on
so what are they about now that we're talking about
Oh,
your
well, a lot of my films come from real life experiences and Latino experiences. Some of the films are about immigration and the struggles that people go through while they're here in the States. And it's very socially impactful films that I tend to do. I always, to me, if I'm putting the effort and time into it, it's going to be something that has a message. There's nothing wrong with doing YouTube videos and stuff like that, but if I'm going to spend my time and shoot a film, it's going to be something with a message that people can relate to and actually impact somebody.
So what was your first film that you ever shot?
Wow, my first film that I ever shot. Oh, what was it? It was, okay, so when I first started becoming a filmmaker, I decided I wanted to go to film school. I shot a film about, wow, that's a good question. Wow, I don't even want to say it. It was about a shoe shiner, basically, and it was shot in Wichita Falls because I'm from Wichita Falls. So it was really simple, and I didn't know the basics of filmmaking. And
Hey, we all start somewhere.
Yeah, and I look back at it now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd never want to see that film again. But I mean, it's one of those things. It's one of those films. It's like, you know what, I learned, and it's good to see where I started and where I come from.
It definitely, it tells you where you're coming from. So all the work that you put into it, and I can imagine all the hard work going into this. So I am so happy that you came out here to talk about the film festival, the Festival de Cine Latinoamericano. So you guys make sure people can still get tickets, right?
Yes, they can. Actually, the prices went down. They're pretty cheap for students. They're only $10 for all access pass would get you into everything.
$10 is worth it.
Yes, for all access pass, which is opening night. I mean, come on, guys.
I need to get mine.
Come on, that's. And then also, student for block or any block is $5, and for general admission, I think it's $20 for all access, and it's pretty cheap and it's affordable because all we want is people to come out to watch these films and experience. That's all we want. We're not here to make money. We're a nonprofit. We're here to give you that experience. Okay.
Yeah, you're making it accessible to the people that it needs to be accessible to. So
and definitely without the help of Mercado or Arborado Law here in Denton. They're Latino-based law firm that really, really likes the arts, and they're really into pushing it. So without their help, we couldn't have done any of this. So thank you guys, and thank you, Mercado. So if you get a chance, go out to Mercado and check it out because there's some beautiful stuff out there, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for bringing them over into Denton. We're going to have to be really good hosts for the festival.
Yes,
and
please come out, guys.
We're going to have some people from Dallas coming over so you guys make Denton shine like you usually do. And thank you so much, Gabriel, for being here and talking about the festival. And I look forward to checking out some of these films and whatnot. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie on DentonRadio.com. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicOfDenton.com.